Today's story is one that will leave you shaking your head. It's about a man who called himself a pastor, but he did the exact opposite of godly. His name, Rev.King. A man who turned religion into fear, obedience into control, and church into a crime scene. Let me take you through the rise and fall of this so-called man of God who became a convicted killer. Rev.King was born in Mika, Ezeogo in the early 1960s in Anambra State in Nigeria. He came from Nnewi and grew up in a Christian home. As a young man, Emeka was intense, not in a good or bad way, just intense. Some say he was always very religious, very charismatic. Well, later in his life, I think when he was in his 20s, he started preaching very boldly, loudly, and almost forcefully. That was how he created his own church, the Christian Praying Assembly, CPA. At first, CPA attracted a lot of followers. Rev.King wore the robes, preached holiness, and claimed to perform miracles. But something felt very off. He had strict rules. No makeup, no dating, no sin, or else. He made himself the center of everything. People called him Daddy. Some people said his holiness. He had bodyguards and he lived a luxurious life. While his followers were fasting and sacrificing, he drove flashy cars and he was wearing designer outfits. But it did not stop there. Reverend King's control turned violent. He beat church members regularly. He accused them of sin, especially fornication, emphasis on that, and punished them cruelly. Slaps, whips, and then burns. Many stayed silent. I guess because they were afraid. He told them disobedience was sin and sin led to death. And you had to believe him because he was a representative of God himself. Some believed questioning him was like questioning God, but the breaking point soon arrived. On July 22nd, 2006, Reverend King accused some young women of fornication. One of them was 22-year-old Ann Uzo. He gathered them into his house and then he did something very bad. He poured petrol on them. Yeah, actual petrol. And then he lit a match. The five girls were badly burned, but Anne suffered burns to over 65% of her body. She was rushed to the hospital, but days later, she died. After Anne's death, Nigerians were outraged. Reverend King was arrested, and during the trial, witnesses came forward. They said that he beat people constantly, they believed he was a god, and he ruled with fear and not faith. The court acted very fast. On January 11, 2007, Reverend King was sentenced to death by hanging for murder and attempted murder. He appealed all the way to the Supreme Court, but in 2016, the court upheld the sentence. I remember when my mom used to tell me about it, and for some reason, I felt like this case happened a long time ago. I had no idea that it was in 2006, but that's by the way. Reverend King is still alive today, but he is on death row, still in prison, still awaiting execution. And surprisingly, he still has followers. A while back, during Nigeria's elections, some banners, some posters started circulating around, and it was he was contesting for president. They said that it was a lie, but that just showed a lot that there's some people that still believed in him. He still has this big followers. Okay, I would say that for most of us, the story is a warning. Not everyone who holds a Bible is truly a man of God. So what we can learn from this story is you should be careful of who you follow. Charisma is not the same as character. Somebody might be bold, outspoken, and just, this person has just a strong personality, but it doesn't mean that you should follow them. And most importantly, religion should never be used as a weapon. So what do you think? Do you believe Reverend King thought he was doing the right thing? Or was he just drunk on power? Tell me in the comments. So if you found the story eye-opening, please share, like, and subscribe for more true crime stories from Nigeria and across Africa. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious. I'll see you in my next video.